Welcome to Arnie's Class Podcast. I'm Arnie Aniel. I'm an HR development consultant, an international public speaker, a workshop facilitator, a coach, and an educator. Life is a great opportunity, and we all learn life lessons every day. This podcast is all about those lessons. Lessons like gratitude, confidence, happiness, mindset, and a lot more. Learning without action is information. Learning with action is transformation. Join me, learn, and transform yourself into a better you. There are many benefits of having a massage. They said it can helps reduce pain, it can improves our circulation, and all the other benefits that massage can provide. For some people, maybe they just go for a massage to relax, but definitely massage has more than just for us to relax. In this episode, my special guest, who is a very professional therapist, and he's been doing massage for more than 20 years. And I'm sure he can share with us more information about massage. In Thailand, massage is everywhere. And if you're listening, pay attention to my special guest. And I'm also going to ask him something about yoga because he is also a certified yoga therapist. Another learning experience for everyone. Life mates, listen and learn. Welcome, Life Mates, to this episode. And my special guest is from New York. He graduated from massage school with 12 years experience in neurokinetic therapy and more than 20 years as a physiotherapist. He is also a certified yoga therapist. I'm sure he is more than qualified to talk about massage and yoga. Please welcome my special guest, Jory Serota. Jory, welcome to Arnie's class.
Thanks for having me, Arnie.
Yes, thank you for accepting my invitation. And I'm very excited because I'm not really familiar with the field, although I had the medical field experience, but physiotherapy is something that I'm not really familiar with. So I myself is a learner in this episode.
Okay, sounds good. I will be too, I'm sure.
Yes. So, Jory, how are you going to define physiotherapy in your own way with your experience? Of course, we can Google that. But if you're going to define it in your own professional language, how are you going to explain that to people with no knowledge of physiotherapy?
Sure. Well, I think the first thing to make clear is I am not a licensed physiotherapist. I did not get my doctorate. I did not go through that level of schooling. What I have done is I've been in the field since 1999, so around 23 years, something like this. And very quickly after I graduated from massage school in 1999, I found that giving massage for the sake of pleasure, self-care, self-maintenance, things like this was not my thing. I love to receive them. I'm very happy that I'm here in Thailand right now. I get a massage probably 5 days a week.
Oh, wow. Oh, wow.
I mean, if I lived here full time, I'm sure it wouldn't be that way. But, being here for only 2 months, I indulge myself. But giving massage was never really my thing. I found out very quickly that my interests lie more in biomechanical pursuits, in helping people to recover from injury, in helping athletes to perform better on the field, and really just helping anybody with pain and limited range of motion. So that being said, my career path has led me down through the massage world, has led me very, 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 very deeply into the yoga world. I studied a form of yoga called Iyengar yoga for 15 years. And I went and spent time in India studying with the founder and the master. The Iyengar yoga practice is very alignment based. It's very biomechanically based. It's very like, oh, your shoulder is doing this. Well, we need to teach it how to do this. So I have combined the modalities that I have learned over the last 20 plus years to create a system that I feel can take any human being who is having discomfort, pain, limited range of motion, things like this, and find the source of it, find the root of it, and make changes so that they can live a happier, healthier life.
Nice. But what led you to do this or to work in this field?
Yeah. Well, when I was 3, my parents had divorced when I was very young. And when I was around 3, my mother met a new man who happened to be a massage therapist.
Oh,
So at 3 years old, I received my first quote unquote massage.
okay.
And he always reminded me that that first massage that he gave me, he's just rubbing my back as any parent would do. And I looked up at him and I was like, it doesn't hurt. There was this wonder, this awe in me about having this type of touch that was so pleasant inducing. And so I just kind of fell in love with it. In my teen years, I found that it was a really great way to pick up girls.
Okay. This is my first time to hear that. Okay. So it's
Oh,
an effective
yeah,
way, right?
it's a very effective way, especially
Okay.
when you're young and you have, no other moves whatsoever.
Okay. Okay.
um, and then, in 1999, I went to massage school. And as I said, it quickly became clear that that wasn't really a passion for me. And somewhere around 2004, maybe even earlier, 2003, I met a man named Glenn Black, who became my mentor in both yoga and bodywork.
Okay.
And I spent years by his side. I traveled with him to Costa Rica a couple times. We worked in upstate New York together, shadowing him and learning every possible thing that I could about how to actually treat range of motion and injury issues. And in the process of that, and in the process of teaching very precise technical yoga practice, a passion for me really developed in terms of my approach towards the human body.
I see. Before I asked about yoga, let's start with the massage because massage is very common. It's everywhere in Thailand. It's like right, to your left, wherever you go. So
Yes.
how does massage can help with the pain?
Oh, my goodness. Well, that depends how scientific and how deep you want to go.
Let's just do the
Um,
simple one.
yeah.
Yeah, Joy.
Yeah. I'll try to keep out some of the neurological and um, well, on a very basic and rote level, when a muscle gets tight in the human body, uh, there becomes a lack of viscosity to it or a lack of fluidity. The muscle doesn't glide in and around itself as well. And so instead of being this very kind of mobile, flexible tissue that it's supposed to be, the hydration has decreased and it just starts bumping into itself. A lot of people have heard of the term trigger point. Oh, I have this trigger point, this knot in my shoulder or whatever. A trigger point is nothing more than really dry tissue that has caused the fascicles, the little bundles of the muscle to get shorter and smaller until it becomes this tiny little bit of a bump. So when one receives massage in that area, the entire body recognizes it immediately. start sending blood and start sending other tissue to that area so that tighter muscle can relax and release.
Oh, wow. And how often should a person get a massage?
You know, I'll tell you, a couple nights ago, I slept poorly. And I woke up in the morning and I was like, I'm going to go get a massage. I didn't have anything to do that I had nothing pressing to do. You know, normally I wake up in the morning and I go to the gym, and I was like, I'm going to go get a massage. And I went and I got a massage. And, you know, this place across the street from where I'm living, it's an hour and a half or 2 hour massage, which is quite extravagant. And I walked out of that massage and I was like, I should do this every day.
Oh, wow. But is it recommendable to have massage every day?
Sure. Sure.
see.
I mean, why not? You know, I mean, at a certain point, it's going to get boring. But I would say, you know, depending on who you are, once a week would be great. With the lifestyles that we lead in the West, I mean, it's different here in Asia. It's different where you can, you know, go to any street corner and there's 3 massage shops, and it's not incredibly expensive, and it's just an easy thing to do. It's not like that in the West. You know, it's more expensive and blah, blah, blah. So in the West, I generally say once a month is a nice thing to do.
Okay. So once a week of massage is fine.
Hell yeah.
I see. Okay. Is there a possibility that if you have massage very often that you will enjoy your muscle, or I mean, but some body parts because of the massage or
It
the
depends on the
pressure
massage.
that you get?
It depends on the therapist. I mean, if it's a poor therapist, they can injure you in one session. But if they're a good therapist, you know, and I have this one person that I go to every time right now. Her name is Pin, Pin, and she's fantastic. So I go as much as I can, and I feel great.
Okay, that's that. I'm very happy and glad to hear that you're enjoying your massage in Thailand. Is there any particular massage that you recommend that you think is
Oh,
best for people to relax and have that kind of
no,
therapeutic effect?
no,
No particular
no,
massage that.
no, no.
Okay. So any
You know,
massage can do.
well, there are so many styles of massage out there. It's like there are so many types of yoga. There are so many colors. There are so many restaurants and types of food that you can eat. For everybody, it's about finding the one that works well for you. You know, for me, for the last 12, 13 years, I have practiced something called neurokinetic therapy. And neurokinetic therapy, again, I founded it around 2009. I was a sports massage therapist. I had worked on the professional tennis circuit for 6 years. I worked with some of the top players in the world, helping them recover from injury and get back on the court. And I was bored. I didn't love it. I was starting to contemplate a new career path. And that is when I found neurokinetic therapy. And my mind just went like,
Blown
whoa,
away.
blown away.
Well, what
Like,
is
blown away.
neurokinetic therapy, Jory, for the benefit of the listeners?
Yeah. Neurokinetic therapy is a motor control assessment of the body that uses manual muscle testing to assess the function of certain muscles and joints in the human body. And when it finds areas that aren't working, it finds the reason why they're not working, which is normally a tight muscle somewhere else, a joint that is not mobile enough, a breathing pattern that's off, and so forth. There's a slew of different potentials. So what neurokinetic therapy does is it allows us as practitioners to put on our detective hats and dive deeper into the nervous system of our patient to understand what's truly going on for them, as opposed to, oh, this muscle is tight, I'm going to massage this muscle. Well, why is that muscle tight? What's causing that muscle to be tight? That's what NKT does. It breaks down all these movement patterns in a very sophisticated way.
Oh, wow. Okay. So is it similar to a massage, Jory?
Well, so when we find a muscle that is what we call inhibited, this is a muscle that is not working properly. It cannot function near its optimal range. Let's say in this situation that some of the muscles of your lower back are not working that well. And we find that they're not working that well because, I'm just going to throw something out there, your calf muscles are too tight.
Okay.
And because the calf muscles are too tight, the signal from the brain through the spine into the back with the calf has become distorted. Well, once I find that, my job then is to do massage for the calves. So I'm not going to give a full body massage. I'm not going to massage something for no reason. I'm only going to massage the areas that my patient's brain, through our manual muscle testing, has directed me towards as the area that needs release.
Oh, wow. Interesting. That sounds really interesting. See, of course, you've heard, at least in Asian context, that most people, they always experience, or we always experience back pain. I think this is the most common one. If doing a self massage, is there something that we can do, like to at least get rid of that back pain without going for a massage?
A self massage, did you say?
Yes, that's right. Is there something we can do?
There are things one can do in terms of massage and on their own. Particularly, I would recommend getting a lacrosse ball or a very hard little ball, a baseball or something, and you put it on the floor and you roll your back on it.
Oh.
I'm going to use this opportunity to talk about a course that I'm about to release in the next month.
Oh.
Yeah. So the other aspect of my professional life is I have many online yoga courses. My courses are geared predominantly towards professionals. They're geared towards yoga teachers, physiotherapists, Pilates teachers, chiropractors, personal trainers, and I've had all of those people register for my stuff. When I first started putting out online material, I was back in 2018, so significantly before the pandemic. And I did this because I wanted to reach more students. I've traveled around the world and taught for many years. I've taught in Japan and Taiwan and Bali and blah, 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 blah. But those students who had an affinity towards me, liked what I was teaching, could only study with me when I was there. And that was once a year for a week at the most. So I put out many different courses aimed at teaching professionals about biomechanics and et cetera. I have one course that I put out a couple of years ago that's specifically on lower back pain.
Oh, okay.
The course is 27 videos long. It's very thorough. It teaches students how to assess their back, how to work with their back, how to work with something if it's too weak, how to work with something if it's too strong, how to work with something if it's immobile, etc.
On their own, right, Jory?
All on their own. And once they join the course, they have it for life. I'm not playing games with, you join the course, you have it for 3 months, and then you have to give me more money. Like, no, you buy it, that puppy's yours. You know, enjoy it. You can watch it right now. You could not watch it. You could come back to it in 2 years. It's still there. The other thing that I've done, though, is because all of my courses have been aimed at professionals, there are a lot of people who I thought could probably benefit from my teachings that aren't, because they're just people. They're yoga practitioners, or they're just someone with back pain or whatever. And that's just has not been my audience. So I recently filmed 4 new classes. They're only 25 minutes long. I have one course that's 45 hours long. I have
Oh,
another
wow.
course that's 15, 16, 17 hours long. So these are classes. It's only me. I do not have any other models with me this time. And those will be getting released in around a month or so, something like that, maybe a little less. And one of them is a 25-minute class. Actually, I think it's only 23 minutes. It's a 23-minute class on what to do if you wake up with back pain, or if you have back pain at all.
Oh, wow. Okay. Do you have, of course, I'm going to ask you for the link before we finish the interview. That would be
Yes,
interesting. And I'm sure a lot of people will be interested to know
yes,
and probably to buy that course in order for them to do it on their own at home, especially now that a lot of people, they do work from home. So I'm
yes.
sure, yeah, they have time to do that. And, sitting in front of the computer for a long time, it's not really good for our health. And I'm sure it will help.
That's correct. I agree with you.
Yes. And then you've been mentioning about yoga, Jory.
Yeah,
What
yeah.
benefits? Of course, I've been to a yoga class, but I just felt that it's not for me. It's for me, okay? I just attended one time and I said, "Oh my." Maybe because I was sore after that, my body pain, oh, the body pains was like, oh, I was so intense. So what is really yoga for? I've heard a lot of benefits and I know a lot of people are into yoga.
Sure. Well, ultimately, yoga's intention is the emancipation of suffering and freedom from mental slavery. The yogis who discovered yoga and created yoga 2,600 years ago were not in any way, shape, or form concerned with how flexible they could be and how good they looked in Lululemon pants. I can tell you that. They
Okay.
they had one goal and one goal only, and that was moksha. That was liberation. That was enlightenment. Uh, and within the yogic path, there's 8 limbs of this yogic path. The third limb, which is the yoga practice, the asana practice. But then there's so much more. The fourth limb is pranayama. It's breath work, which can be taught. We can have a pranayama class. We can have a breath work class. But the limbs that are beyond that, you're going to be hard pressed to find someone who can teach these more advanced skills. So ideally, yoga is for emancipation.
Okay.
The way that yoga is used in the West and in the East too, the way that yoga is used now is it is used to get high. I don't mean high like drugs. I mean high like a natural high.
Okay.
It's used to get high. It's used to feel good about yourself. It's used to get more flexible. All these things are fine. It's great. Get a little bit more flexible. You do when you practice yoga, there's particular endorphins that get released. There's a chemical called oxytocin that gets released. And when we have more oxytocin, we feel happier. We're more able to be socially connected to other people, et cetera, et cetera. So that's all great. In relation to what you were talking about and what we've mentioned at the beginning of our discussion, there are so many forms of yoga. And you can go to a yoga class and absolutely hate it. And there's nothing wrong with that. And you can either write off yoga for the rest of your life and be like, that, I didn't like that. Or you could try some other classes and maybe it was actually the teacher or the style. So I don't really have any recommendations for people anymore. I can make some, of course, if you tell me this is what I want. I want really slow. I want really gentle. I'll make a recommendation for you. But as with anything else, it's about finding the style and the teacher that works for you.
I see. But there are different kinds of yoga, Jory. Which one do you think is the best for, let's just say, for relaxation and just to keep yourself fit? Because
Yeah.
I always hear Pilates or something hot Pilates, if I can recall it right. But,
Yeah,
but
I mean,
which
there's a
one?
hot tub going, yes.
Yes. So which one do you recommend just for people to they just want to keep fit and they just want to be healthy?
Any yoga should help somebody with their physical health, period.
So any yoga can do.
It should. It should. You have more intense classes like hot yoga, which comes from the Bikram tradition, which the room is heated to 35 degrees Celsius. And you are in there. It is the same exact 26 poses done twice every single class.
Oh.
Shoot me in the head. That would drive me crazy. I'd be so bored doing the same exact class every single day. But the people in there are just there to lose weight, to get more flexible, blah, 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 And of course, there are psychological advantages to, sweating and moving your body that much. Forms of yoga where people are bypassing what they really feel because of the rush that's coming and continuing to force themselves into poses will lead to injury, period. So there's so many forms. Some of the classes that I have seen here in Thailand, the Asian body is different than the Western body.
Totally agree.
Right? I, from New York, do not have the same body as the 30-year-old Thai woman who stands over there. She's going to walk into a class and she's going to put her foot behind her head and she's going to want to do all these advanced poses because she has a different collagen fiber and she just has flexibility at a level that I'll never have. So if I try to do the stuff that she's doing, I will get hurt.
Okay.
That would be like her coming into the gym and trying to bench 225 pounds. Stupid. I can do it. If she does it, she's going to crush her trachea and die. Anyway, keep going.
Yeah, that's okay. I'm listening. I really want to know. So with this yoga, how often do you think people should attend a yoga class?
Yeah, it's a good question. It partially depends on what their intention is. If their intention is mental health, then it might be better to do 4 or 5 times a week for a while until they feel like, okay, I've come to a place where I feel better about myself. If their intention is flexibility, I would say 3 or 4. It's a very, very, very individual thing.
So it depends from one body to another.
It really does.
See, but at least to a certain minimum, Jory, do you recommend like is once or twice a week? Do you think will help?
I would. Yes.
Okay. See, but doing yoga, because they said if you do exercise, like for example, if we're going to talk about losing weight, some people they said it's a combination of exercise and diet, and of course the discipline. You can. How about in yoga? Does it also come with like you cannot attend yoga and expect this, but without doing another thing? Is there a combination there for yoga? Like for example, in losing weight, Jory, people
Yes.
they said that if you want to lose weight, you cannot just lose weight by dieting or skipping meals. It should be a combination of some sort of exercise, and then of course the diet, and then a discipline.
Okay.
In yoga, my question is, if you do yoga, is there another thing that they should do to make it more effective? Like, is diet included there or some sort of exercise that they should do?
I see. Yoga should be a lifestyle, ideally. It's not just a thing that you go to a class and then you're not doing yoga anymore. In
Okay.
its essence, yoga is supposed to penetrate every aspect of your life. So if every single time you finish a yoga class, you go outside and you eat a bowl of ice cream and smoke 3 cigarettes, it's probably not the greatest thing for you.
Okay.
Depending on who you are, and generally speaking, yoga makes you feel better. So when you feel good, you don't want to eat a pound of ice cream and smoke 3 cigarettes. You want to eat a bowl of rice and some veggies, or a piece of steak, or you want to eat, healthy food. Sometimes yoga has potential to bring up deeper pains that we experience inside. Traumas from our childhood, memories of separation from a partner, anxieties, depressions, things that have been in there that are latent, that we've kind of like pushed under the carpet, that now are being pulled out because that's what the practice of yoga does. In those situations, I recommend that someone combines their yoga practice with weekly therapy.
Okay.
Therapy is not as prominent. Psychotherapy, just so I'm clear, is not as prominent here in Thailand. I can see it becoming more prominent in the next 10 to 20 years. I would like to see a lot more therapy, psychotherapy here in this country. In the West, I highly recommend that students who are especially in their 20s and maybe 30s, who are diving into a yoga practice, who are very keen on practicing intensely, also have a therapist to hold a container of the emotional aspects that will arise.
Oh, wow. It's my first time to hear something like that about yoga. Interesting. That's really, really interesting. I know we have a very limited time, but that's really interesting. And probably the people out there should also consider that, because you are very much aware of that, Jory, that psychotherapy is not really that popular or being used in Asia. And just like what you said, I think not just in 2010 or 20 years, probably shorter than that, because some people, they even said that probably the next pandemic is mental health.
Oh, I've heard this as well.
Yes. So probably in Asia, more people will actually consult therapists for that.
Yeah, I mean, if the next pandemic is mental health, I believe the next pandemic has been going on for 20 years already.
Yes. I totally agree. I totally agree. Okay. You are originally from New York, Jory, and then you come here every now and then to do classes on yoga and massage, or just yoga?
Yoga and neurokinetic therapy.
I see. And
Yeah.
do you see that neurokinetic therapy will be bigger in Asia?
Neurokinetic therapy is pretty big in Asia.
Okay. Because as I said, I'm not familiar with this uh,
Yeah.
therapy or neurokinetic therapy, and it's my first time to hear it from you. So it's bigger in Asia.
It's quite big in Asia.
I see.
We have probably a couple hundred therapists in Thailand. We probably have more than that in Hong Kong. We definitely have more than that in Taiwan. Those are our 3 main hubs. We have a lot of therapists in Singapore. We've been teaching in this region since 2014.
Wow.
Yes.
That's a long time. That's a long
Yeah.
time. And neurokinetic therapy, you advise this to people of every disease or physical injury?
That's physical. Physical.
Just physical.
We're not going to help with nutrition. We're not going to help with mental illness. We're not going to help with, I don't know, whatever. But if you have a pain in your body, in your neck, in your shoulder, in your back, in your foot, in your toe, in your finger, in your arm, in your head, in your ear, well, maybe not the ear,
Okay,
We're going to help you with that.
I see. And not in your heart for sure.
Right. That's correct. That's correct.
Broken-hearted, neurokinetic therapy cannot help.
Correct.
Jory, I'm sure you've experienced a lot, not only in the US, also in Asia, and you're traveling. In your experiences, what do you think is the greatest lesson that you consider? Something that is really wow. This is a lesson that I've learned that I want to share with everyone.
Yeah. Um, I would say it's a lesson that I continue to learn and believe that I will continue to learn this lesson until the day I die. And that is, we are already enough. I know for myself, and I know for a lot of other people, there is a feeling that I am not good enough. I am not tall enough. I am not strong enough. I am not smart enough. I am not sexy enough. I am not wise enough. I am not blah. I can't do this because blah, blah, you know. And the more that I learn about myself, I'm already enough. You're already enough. We're already enough. We have work to do on ourselves. Life is this amazing journey of self-discovery. But how nice would it be to have a journey of self-discovery where one already feels that they are great as they are, as opposed to feeling I'm not enough and I have to do more.
Yes, that's right. Totally
So that,
agree because we always hear people like, oh, how come I'm not tall enough? I'm not white enough. My hair is
oh
not
God, that's a
straight.
horrible one. Oh my
Oh,
God.
in Asia, you can find all the whitening products from
Right.
cream, lotion, everything, you name it. There's always a whitening thing there out there
Uh,
in the market.
uh,
Yeah. And then you see all those people, Westerners, coming to Asia to be darker. And then
get
here
a
comes
tan.
the
Exactly.
Asian.
Right.
I think we are never contented with what we have. I think what we don't have is something that we always want to have. We don't
I agree.
appreciate what we have.
Right.
Yeah. And Jory, is there something that you can share with us, like one decision? Of course, life is about choices. Life is about decision. If there's one decision that you think you made in the past and has an impact of who you are at the moment, what is it?
You know, that's a funny question. I will tell you that when I was in high school, I I grew up in New York. I always wanted to go to college in Florida. My stepfather had gone to a college in Florida back in the 60s. And I was just adamant that I am going to go to a college in Florida. So I only applied to 3 colleges and I got into all of them.
Wow.
The first one offered me no scholarship and it was going to be a ton of money. The second one offered me a bit of a scholarship, but instead of starting in September, I had to start in August. I had to start a month early, which meant that I would miss my last summer as, you know, a teenager in New York. And I was like, I'm not doing that.
Okay.
So I went to the other school in Florida called Florida State. And in Florida State, I met some people who I am still phenomenal friends with today. And in my second semester, I took a class called East Asian Religions. And the first day of class, I noticed this dude on the other side of the room. And I was like, that guy looks cool. A week goes by, and the next week, I'm in a yoga class, and there he is. So after class, we started talking. We're like, "What's up, man? All right, cool. Yeah. I saw you in class. Blah, 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 blah." We developed a friendship that lasts to this day.
Oh, wow.
And one day after the East Asian religion class, we were walking out of class or whatever, and he says, "One day soon, I'm gonna go to Southeast Asia, and I'm gonna spend a year traveling through Thailand and India and Bali and Sumatra." And I was like, "I'll come with you." That was like March of 1998. In January of 1999, we lived together in a different part of Florida. And in 2000, we took off and we spent a year traveling through Southeast Asia together.
Wow.
So when it really comes down to it, my decision to go to Florida that I made when I was a teenager paved the path for my entire life and everything that I am experiencing today in Southeast Asia.
Wow. What an experience. What a decision. And I'm
Right?
sure I know. I know. And it's not common in Asian context that people at that age will actually think of going to another country and explore. And it's not really common in Asian countries. Normally, parents will really not allow their children to go and just like travel in different countries. It's not in the Asian, but congratulations for that decision. And I'm sure you are very happy and very glad that you made that decision.
I am. Yes. Thank you.
Yes. So with all the lessons and all the decisions you've made in your life, I'm sure a lot of them. But if you're going or someone else is going to write a book about your life, Jory, what will be the title of the book and what kind of book will it be?
If I were going to do that, I would call it The Quest for Enlightenment and the Many Pitfalls That We Will All Face. The funny thing is I am actually writing a book right now.
Oh, wow. About yourself or about something else?
Well, it's about 75% done. And it's a book on yoga therapy.
Let's see.
So the book is broken into two parts. The first part is my journey over 20 plus years within the world of yoga and the many promises that yoga made to me, some of which came true, some of which absolutely were just total bull caca, just nonsense stuff that the neophyte, novice, young 20, 22-year-old kid is going to believe and be like, yes, wow, I can grow the hair back on my head by doing 10 minutes of headstand a day, or whatever. So I'm highlighting many of the pitfalls that a lot of yogis face and a lot of the lies that the yoga lineage has passed down to the Westerner. The second half of the book is a photo book with photos from a photo shoot of me and a couple colleagues with the actual muscles drawn on our body. So it's very, very lifelike. The artist, I work with an artist named Simon Ampel. He's phenomenal. And they're sequences. So there is a 4-week program for people with lower back pain. There is a 6-week program for people with shoulder pain. Shoulders are kind of complex. There's a 2-week program for a knee. There is a 4-week program for people who have neck pain. So I am putting together this yoga therapy book to kind of pass on to people and hopefully have an impact on the world.
Wow. Congratulations in advance. And I'm sure it's going to be a #1 in Amazon. I'm sure you're going to release that in Amazon. And let us
Yes.
know. So if you mentioned about all your courses, so if people wants to actually get a copy or buy those courses, Jory, how can
Yes.
they where they can find the courses?
My website is the best place. JorySerota.com, JorySerota.com. You can, all my courses are listed on there, upcoming trainings. There's some free materials. There's actually a free lower back course. It's a 4-video course that people can download. There's a free ebook that people can download, plus all my other courses. You can connect with me on Instagram, though I'm not that active on Instagram, but Jory Serota is on Instagram, and Facebook as well.
Thank you so much. And all the best for your book. And I know you're flying back to the US. Have a safe trip on Tuesday,
Thank you.
right?
On Tuesday, yes.
On Tuesday. And probably we can meet again when you come back and we can actually talk more about the book
I
next
think
time.
we will. And hopefully by the time I come back, the book will be released, actually.
And I will
Fingers
have a
crossed.
copy. Yes. And I will have a
Yes, sir.
copy. Once again, thank you so much, Jory, for sharing your experiences and knowledge about massage and yoga. I know you have a busy schedule. Thank you so, so much. And to all the listeners, if you like this episode, please share it with your family and friends because every episode is a learning episode. And I'm sure that it's not only for you, but for the rest of your networking people and, of course, your family and friends. So please do like and share this episode with Jory Serota. Thank you so much again. And until my next episode, listen and learn.